The USL League One is back on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. From Knoxville, Tennessee, we have one Knoxville facing Union Omaha. All-league second-team selection, Sean Lewis continues to anchor a staunch back line who conceded just one goal through 3 matches, while Union Omaha, they're looking to stay unbeaten against Knoxville all-time after winning twice in 2023. It's Week 6 of the USL League One. Welcome to Regal Soccer Stadium. It's the USL League One presented by Company Distilling. One Knoxville SC and Union Omaha. I'm Jack Edwards alongside Ricky Lopez. That's been in the broadcast booth for this one. Both of these teams, the last teams left who are 100% in their records in the league so far. Here are our standings entering this Friday night matchup. You can see in second place, one Knoxville, 9 points through 3. They've played just one game, Union Omaha have, but that was a 2-1 win on the road at Fuego. Both teams 100%. Those standings brought to you by PYA. It's been a fantastic start, Ricky. 4-1 Knoxville so far this season. A strong start. Took them 13 games in 2023 to get to 3 league wins. 3 wins from 3 so far this year.
5 goals on the season this far for Mark McGeever and company, but the way that they can score goals, whether it's from a central location, whether it's from a wide area, they've shown they have talent on the front line. Players that can produce that little bit of individual brilliance. But for one Knoxville, I do think the first 10 to 15 minutes, how quickly can they get in a rhythm and how confident can they be in the attacking third?
For Union Omaha, they're going to be a staunch attacking side. They conceded just second fewest goals in the league last year. Knoxville did. It's a strong Union Omaha attack.
And it's going to be Dos Santos. He's going to stay hot. He's going to occupy the 2 center backs for one Knoxville. He's physical. He likes to be part of the build-up, but also tenacious. He wants to get on the end of things. He's shown that he can score every type of goal in the book. How quickly can he get in rhythm, and what's the service look like to convert into Steven Dos Santos?
Both of these teams 100% with points so far. Someone is dropping some points here today. That's for certain. It's going to be a great one from Regal Soccer Stadium. The first of 6 games for the first time in 2024. We'll have lineups and kickoff on the other side of this break. Stay with us. One Knoxville, Union Omaha here at Regal Soccer Stadium. When these sides met in 2023, it finished with a Dion Akoff 94th minute winner for Union Omaha 2-1 win. We'll see how today's match ends up playing out. We can look at our lineups. First off, for the home side, 4 changes from a 2-3 U.S. Open Cup defeat. This one brought to you by KUB Fiber.
It's going to be a 4-3-3, but can quickly shift into a 3-4-3, but it all comes down to Haugli. He's going to sit right in front of that back four. He needs to be very disciplined. He can't get drawn out and start running all over the field. Vanderploem and Johnson, what do they look like in terms of their work rate? Castro, he's going to stay high. He's going to ask a lot of questions of Union Omaha and their back line.
Union Omaha have only played one time in the league so far this year, but their last match against Des Moines Menace in the Open Cup, they won 3-1, and they have no changes from that lineup.
And it's not broke, don't fix it for Dominic Casciato. Fluidity is the name of the game for this Union Omaha side. Dos Santos, he's going to stay high. Gallardo and Gomez supply support underneath him, and PC and Dolabel look for them to dictate tempo and move the ball to left to right.
Players are on the field. In the center circle, Joe Gallardo in the white kits for Union Omaha. In their dark blues will be one Knoxville here on World Record Night. Jack Edwards and Ricky Lopez-Espin, delighted to have you with us. Kick off a 6-game weekend in the USL League One. Visitors will get us going, heading from left to right, and the hosts going from right to left. They have that threat Omaha do with the long ball, and in transition will be a big threat as well for Knoxville. Johnson, center of the park. Skelton, Sean Lewis, highlighted him in the open. 2 clean sheets already in the league this season after 8 last year. They conceded just 39 goals all season long. Very good defensively in 2023, and that's continued into 2024.
You talked about it already, Jack, that Union Omaha has the direct threat into Steven Dos Santos, so second balls become that much more important for both sides. If you're one, Knoxville, Haugli and Johnson have to have the ability to turn around and do their defensive duties, because Gallardo and Gomez, very clever in the space that they pick up underneath Steven Dos Santos.
Opportunity now. Stuart Ritchie has it knocked away. Jerome, the player, knocking that one out of play. Of course, both of these teams, we've mentioned it already, very strong starts to the campaign. 3 wins in 3 games in all competitions for Omaha, 4 wins in 5 for Knoxville. They wanted that one to go out of play. Omaha did. Referee said it did not. And Schutte back to Vanderploem. Sun will be a factor in the early parts of tonight's match. Johnson brings it down. Castro back. And Schutte's making the run. He puts a hand up, that one going just over his head, and Rashid Nuhu can bring that one into his spell. Captain rolling us back underway. Playing through, all the way back now to Lewis. Johnson touches that one down. Goes out of play. Out for a throw for one Knoxville. Coming into this game, a little bruised, a little battered. Player of the month from March, Angelo Kelly Rosales, out with an ankle injury. Hopefully that's short-term. Danny Fernandez, a knee injury. Unfortunately, looks like it's going to be several months out for him, according to Mark McKeever. And Kingsford Ajay still waiting for his debut as well. Big blow, though, for Fernandez.
It's going to be very interesting to see which player steps up as well for Mark McKeever. Now, you talk about Angelo Kelly, how good he's been in this early season. Player of the month in USL League One. So a big opportunity for a player to take that responsibility and be the game changer, especially on the front line from one Knoxville.
It's taken over by Johnson, plays it into Castro. He's got Tequila making the run into the box. It's just too strong. Nuhu brings it in, and that's kind of the role that Angelo Kelly Rosales has been playing to this point this year. 2 goals, 2 assists, an absolute rocket for the winner in that match against Tormenta when they were last at home, getting that Player of the Month honors, but he'll be unavailable for this matchup today. Hopefully he'll be returning soon after. Knoxville, again, with some early possession, but it's some good pressure. Dos Santos pulled back. First foul of the match going against the hosts.
It's already 3 minutes in, but Union Omaha having a very difficult time just connecting passes and dealing with the initial pressure for one Knoxville. So if you are that back 3, which is Malone, Master Antonio, and Jerome, how clean can you be in your decision-making at breaking that initial line of pressure?
Back to Lewis. Dos Santos slowly making the press onto the goalkeeper as Lewis trying to pick out a forward. These sides met 3 times back in 2023. Twice Omaha took a win. 1 time it was a draw when they met here at home. For Knoxville, they fell in a 2-1 defeat. No push from behind on Nshuti by Akoff, says the referee. It's out for a throw. And again, Dion Akoff was that match winner when these sides last met at Regal Soccer Stadium. A big physical matchup. One that Mark McKeever spotlighted is just the presence that they have up front. Akoff bringing it centrally. Johnson gets a foot in, sliding. That one will be cleared forward. It'll end up spinning just wide of the corner flag. Throw in deep inside their own half for 1 Knoxville.
And it does seem as Dolabella sitting next to PC in the center of the park for Union Omaha. So that pushes up Gomez underneath Dos Santos. That's Johnson and Haugley. They're going to be the double pivot. So who's going to dictate tempo? Who's going to impose their identity on the opposition? I do think the key to this match is going to be that midfield third. Who's going to win that battle and who's going to play this game on their terms?
Another throw for Knoxville. Flicked on by O'Hearn, flicked on again to Nshuti. Jerome stepping up, trying to get a foot in. Akoff chasing. It's a clever first touch. Trying to get ahead of there, Stuart Ritchie. It's a dangerous back pass, and it's a clever header back to Nuhu to make sure he has the option to pick it up if he likes.
Really good decision there from Nuhu not to go quick, just settle things down. Get some sort of possession for the visitors here. We haven't really seen any team settle in, just connect a couple passes, get in a rhythm. It's been very direct and sloppy turnovers for each side.
As you're saying that, ball pinging around in the middle of the park. It ends up with Gallardo, plays it to Akoff, moving up from his right-sided position. Akoff, ball into the box. Headed away on the first attempt, and Ritchie will nod it out of the box fully.
I do think he's going to be a special player in this 2024 campaign for Union Omaha. Akoff, the work rate on both sides, the quality when he gets into that final third, can whip in a very dangerous ball right on top of that 6-yard box. Who can also do his defensive duties and win his individual battles. Him and Gallardo have shown a nice little relationship for Dominic Casciato on this near side.
Mark McKeever saying he views him as one of the best right wing back threats in this league. We'll see how he plays things out. Again, with his back three, he'll be able to have a bit more license to push forward.
And it's interesting when you elect to play in a back three, so you have wing backs, right? So Milanese and Akoff on this near side. So it puts a lot of pressure on opposing outside backs. So Ritchie and O'Hearn need to be very decisive and very disciplined in their decision making. You don't want to get spread apart.
Big challenge put in to make sure the loose ball was collected. Gallardo sliding in, putting in his defensive effort.
So for year 1 Knoxville, how compact can you be in your defensive structure? That's going to be key.
Nuhu drops a great pass into the chest of Dos Santos, who can put it down to Gallardo. Akoff, we've mentioned already as a threat. He's got 4 in white with him in the attack. A lot back for Knoxville. Gallardo made the run, but not picked up. Dolabella will slide it back to the back line. Jerome. Slid out wide by Gomez. He's making a dangerous run. Aaron Gomez targeted. It's just too heavy for him. You saw the idea, though, on that underlapping run.
Really clever run from Gomez from a deep lying position. A nightmare to track if you're one Knoxville. Have to have a lot of communication at passing players off. So if you're Skelton and Chrysler, communication, pressure, and coverage needs to be spot on this afternoon.
Might be the toughest test of 2024 so far for one Knoxville against last year's Players' Shield winners. They had a phenomenal run, final 15 games of the regular season to crown themselves first in the league. Heartbreaking shootout defeat in the semifinals of the League One playoffs to cap off the year, but it was a great first year at the helm for Dominic Casciato, named USL League One Coach of the Year.
Good ball.
Good ball to pick out Nshuti. As he pushed down, referee will give the foul just inside the attacking half for Knoxville.
And that was one of the keys that Mark McKeever mentioned to us, Jack, on our phone call. Said transition moments. How quickly can we turn our defensive efforts into attacking opportunities? Good ball into Nshuti. clear foul from Dolabella, because the way that Union Omaha wants to play, they want to be expansive, right? If they can give the ball over, they leave themselves vulnerable going back the other way. So your first look, it needs to be forward once you recover the ball for Knoxville.
Castro dropping a bit deeper from that front line. Chrysler, miscommunication there between him and O'Hearn, and he passes it out for a throw. Milanese into PC, back to him. Deflection on the ball upfield. Kempis Tequila putting a foot in. He's making his first league start since coming in the offseason. Scored 20 goals across 36 matches in the Luxembourg National Division. A lot of changes made in the offseason by Knoxville to try and add to the core from their first professional season in 2023. It's out, throw in now for Knoxville. That is one of those new additions right there. And Sievert Haugli at 6'5". Mark McKeever saying the physical presence he brings a big factor and a big addition to the team.
The athletic ability just to have the recovery speed as well, but also the reading of the game. A very clever player, can play numerous of different positions, as we've seen for Haugli.
Dolabella picks out Akoff.
It's interesting, you look how this one Knoxville side is setting up defensively. Haugli doesn't need a second invitation to pop on in that back line, so sometimes they actually play with back three. Skelton, Chrysler, and Haugli, and then you have O'Hearn and Ritchie as the outside back, so to say. So if you are Union Omaha, the ball needs to move extremely quick and has to have a lot of movement on the front line to pull players out of position.
Akoff, it's flicked down by Dos Santos. PC second to it. It's knocked upfield. Master Antonio. Now Jerome. He's trying the switch, and it turned into a fantastic ball. Knotted down. Dolabella. He's going to try one. It'll be our first shot of the match. It's a tame one, and Lewis can claim easily.
Just mentioned how important set pieces, or second ball, excuse me, are going to be in this match. With the back three from Union Omaha, the ability to hang a ball about 50, 60 yards. And the secondary movement underneath, Dos Santos, Gallardo, Gomez, Dolabella, he's shown the ability to be very clinical in the attacking third. Big challenge for both sides in positioning in the real estate game.
We mentioned Haugli in that back line. He's dropped into almost a left center back role right now. He's going to pick out Chrysler. He's got Castro, who's dropping into some space. Johnson. His pass intercepted. Dos Santos now can hold play up. Malone. Picks out PC, he picks out Dolabella. You can see the run being made on the left wing, not picked out.
Something that Mark McKeever did not like, switching into a three-back system. Now both sides are playing very similar in terms of the tactics on display here. Great touch.
Great touch by Akoff, past Ritchie. He's got some support with him, and Dos Santos can't get past the center back, and Haugli in the support knocks it upfield, but that long ball threat continues to be a big factor for both sides.
Just the spacing, the positioning from Akoff. Stays high and wide, puts a lot of pressure, and the switch is always going to be an outlet. So when you're playing against a wing back, how do you pin them back and make a back line of 5 so you have little gaps to operate in? Already 14 minutes in, you're just seeing how vital and how important Akoff is on the attacking phase of the game.
He'll throw us back in. Blake Malone. Scored on his return to Omaha. Was loaned a few years back, coming in the offseason as it's attacked and progressed at the left-hand side. Gallardo dragging that one away from a few in blue. Foul after a tidy first touch by Milanese, and it's an opportunity now on the free kick. Maybe a chance for set piece play after the foul by O'Hearn.
Just gets caught flat-footed, O'Hearn. Lanese, much like Akoff.
Mark McKeever, it was a fantastic start to the year for him and his side. 3 wins in March. He was the USL League One Coach of the Month. Big honor for him. It was a great start. Mentioned just in comparison to 2023. Just coming out of the gates incredibly strong. He was proud of the effort, especially with the injuries they've dealt with so far this season, including the ones no Angelo Kelly Rosales, no Danny Fernandez, no Kingsford Ajay in today's match, as his side prepares to deal with the free kick threat on hand here. Seven in white for Gallardo to aim for inside the 18. He'll aim deep, and Lewis will catch that one. Maybe call that a shot on target. Lewis had to watch it all the way to the end.
Yeah, those are always tricky for a goalkeeper. With the traffic oncoming, any sort of deflection, it's a nightmare. When he comes off his line, very decisive, very secure, no spillage whatsoever. Textbook goalkeeping from Lewis.
Haugley's pass gets to Nshuti, but it's very staunch defending. Doesn't give up on it, Nshuti does, and in doing so, commits the foul. Second look after the tussle in the middle of the park.
I think it's a left arm that gets Nshuti in trouble. Wrapped around Jerome. Good defensive step from the right back for Union Omaha. We have not seen much of one Knoxville really offering anything, in especially the front three. Castro, Tequila, and Nshuti extremely quiet 16 minutes into this match.
Possession swinging the way of Omaha, 66% of it through our first 15 minutes. Lanise trying to go through a sea of opponents. It'll end up now with PC, but actually it's going to be a foul called back. Lanise bringing down his opponent. Whistled for the foul, and it will relieve the pressure for the hosts. Waved off it, Sean Lewis. Coming in from Indy 11 for their inaugural pro season. An experienced head, 31 years of age. Big returner for year number 2 as it's blocked on the attempted clearance. Kept in play, knocked upfield. Dos Santos trying to chest it down. It's a clever touch to pick out Castro. He's got 2 with him. Opportunity, top of the box, the curler, Nuhu gets it away. A fantastic parry on the shot by Tequila.
Really good movement from one Knoxville. Just watch the numbers. All 3 players involved. It's a really clever run from Nshuti. He draws out Malone, and that opens up the gap right on top of the 18-yard box. Tequila has eyes for that far post. Doesn't get his hips nearly enough around it. Will take nothing away from the save from Nuhu. Good action from the home side.
Opportunity for the first corner of the match for either side. It'll be Callum Johnson to take. In swinger, it's dangerous. It's headed away. Vanderploem thought about the first time shot, got it all wrong, but he's able to recover for a second touch. And they'll cycle all the way back to Sean Lewis. Lewis again direct. Haugley was staying upfield. Ends up going through the back of Pedro Dolabella. Commits the free kick. Just the one shot for both teams. Mark McKeever watching on. Dominic Casciato, actually his first league match that he's in the arena for. We'll get back to that in a moment as Akoff has it. Takes a slight deflection, and it almost went perfectly into the path of Dos Santos, but it went into a grateful arms of Sean Lewis. But for that first match of the year, the road trip to Fuego, welcoming a new member to the Casciato family. He stayed back. He was on the phone trying to offer his insights on everything. And in the end, his staff gave lots of praise for them on the phone this week, just able to see that one out, get a 2-1 win on the road. Their only league match so far.
Yeah, it's been really interesting talking to Dominic Casciato, the only league match he coached from his TV in his living room.
It's lofted forward. It's left, and a little worrying there for a moment, but Nuhu confident off his line. Definitely less than ideal to be hundreds of miles away rather than several feet away.
And then you go back and then you have 2 Open Cup games. And we had the ability to talk with him, and we asked him what's kind of the mentality with 2 Open Cup games. They don't really count at USL League One. He said it's been the same. It's been business as usual. We take every single game to win. We put our best 11 when we walk across that white line, and no difference here. Second league game, second road game for Union Omaha. 20 minutes in, he needs to be very pleased with this start.
They played the role of spoiler against a very fun Des Moines Menace team in the second round of the Open Cup, winning 3-1. Lagos Kunga seeing that one out with the final goal in that match. He's on the bench for Omaha as an option today. Good drop of the shoulder by Johnson. That pass asking a lot of O'Hearn. He was going to make himself known. Goes down to the ground, and he'll get a quick word from the referee. As we see again, just the attempted pass by Johnson, trying to slip that one in for O'Hearn, but it was just too heavy, and it was good strength shown by Milanese in the end.
I do think Johnson's positioning needs to be a little bit better for the one Knoxville as you're playing elect into that front line, into Nshudi, Castro Jr., and Tequila. How do you fill in the gaps underneath them? Provide that support, but also be connective with your back line so you can play between lines. Him and Vanderplume, really big challenge at dictating tempo and the attack style that one Knoxville wants to play.
Just back on that Omaha schedule. They originally had a match against Chattanooga earlier in March. That one postponed later into the season. Some field conditions down in Chattanooga. So only the one match played to this point. Still perfect, though, as Castro slips in his forward partner. Tequila onto that left foot, rolls it off. Johnson, top of the box. That one narrowly wide, almost the opener from Callum Johnson. Great chance, top of the box, just wide of frame.
And once again, just watch the action, watch the reel, say in between lines for Union Omaha. Castro Jr. has a very good feel of when to pop out and be part of the build out. And then it's all about expressing yourself in the final third. Tequila, left-footed, plays on the right-hand side, so he's always going to challenge into the interior. And what I just mentioned, Johnson needs to be very disciplined. And when he picks and chooses his times, when to join the final third at the right time, just pulls it a little bit wide, but once again, one Knoxville asking a lot of questions of Omaha.
Omaha trying to do the same against their opponents. Dos Santos into the box. It's poked away, but it will result in the first corner of the match for Omaha. Far side will be an opportunity for their first whip into the box. Effort is knocked out of play by Jalen Chrysler, also in his second season here in Knoxville. First season for Aaron Gomez. He's going to be in the box. Came off the bench in that first match, scored what turned out to be the winning goal, made it 2-0. Late goal by Fuego. Made it worrying at the end, but they saw things out on the road. There's a chance now with Gallardo on the corner. Stood up. It might sit up kindly. The shot, always a challenging one for Jerome. Can't get over it, and it ends up in the parking lot.
That's a really difficult technique for the outside back. You need to let this ball come down. Don't need to hit it too hard, just need to get clean contact on it. As he's leaning back, that's why it goes up and over the crossbar. And last action for one Knoxville. If you are Dominic Casciato, how compact can you be in your defensive structure? If you elect to play high pressure, that back line needs to stay and step with that midfield third. You don't want to have about 15 to 20 yards between lines, because this one Knoxville side has shown that they can score goals, and they can score goals for fun.
And Nshudi making himself a menace, and in the end knocked out of play by Stuart Ritchie. Coming in from Columbus Crew 2. Made 16 appearances in 2023, coming in now on the left-hand side. Mark McKeever saying the big changes was adding athletic profiles, trying to just change things up from last year, and he's very happy with the additions. And 4 wins in 5 across all competitions, certainly good reason for that. All the way back now to Lewis. Skelton. Haugley inviting the pressure. playing that one just under hit. And Omaha will take things over in the attacking half. They'll slide it back, trying to maintain possession. Kickoff. PC to Malone. He thought about the pass up the touchline. To Milanese. It's picked out now. Maybe not the intended target, but the pass works out in the end. Dos Santos, the target, intercepted. O'Hearn under some pressure. Now Johnson. That one just over the head of O'Hearn, trying to play that one through the press. It's well done by Omaha, and they win the ball back.
You just see the movement for Union Omaha. Players running off the balls, creating overloads, combination play. And then once they lose the ball, how quickly can they recover it? The counter press has been very impressive for the visitors here.
Knocked out of play, throw in. Dos Santos, did he hit a face? He did, actually. You saw the reaction. He feels that it was not quite the hand, maybe just a case of height discrepancy, but quick discussion with Nick Rodfate and making his point heard.
Just watch the arms for Dos Santos. It's the left arm that gets him in trouble. A little bit of contact, but I think that's a harsh whistle. You see the disbelief on the striker's face. No ill intent.
Yeah. It's always a challenge for those bigger strikers where the arms end up is quite higher when there's a height discrepancy between opponents. But the elbow just about catching a Knoxville face. Gomez to keep the press going. Chrysler.
It's really well done. Really well done by the home side, breaking the pressure. Now they're on.
Castro, they wanted an offsides, not given. O'Hearn skips past one opponent. Referee will actually give a corner in the end. They wanted a free kick, not given. It will result in still a set piece opportunity, but not the one that maybe Sean O'Hearn thought he was going to get.
And it's the underlapping run from the outside back. O'Hearn, we'll take a look at it here. I think he goes down a little bit too easy. You just see no argument from the outside back, showing his shin guard. But once again, you just see if you have good decision making, especially playing out of the back for one Knoxville, changing the point of attack and leaving the pressure, you're going to have a lot of real estate to operate in.
Ritchie goes short with the corner. It's slid across now. Vanderploom, that's a dangerous ball. Has to be offsides, and it was. Ritchie was in an offside position. You could see the idea, but it almost felt too good to be true when you see where he receives it. It's quite tight, but in the end, the left back looked to be just offsides. Here is Dominic Casciato.
Let me take a look at it here. Bottom of your screen, we'll see if Malone is maybe a little bit late. I'll tell you what, it looks extremely tight.
Maybe just about off, but very, very close.
Very tight one.
Referee providing interception there, and there'll be a drop ball. The inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup kicks off Saturday, April 27th, featuring League One teams, regional rivalries, highlight group play in round one, with all games streaming exclusively on ESPN+. That, of course, the big change to the league format this year. Last year, 32 league matches. This year, 22 league matches, 8 matches in the Jägermeister Cup. We'll replace that, some regional rivalries. Skipping pass. We'll get back to more on the cup in just a moment as Ritchie will go back. Haugley. Vanderploom and Schutte. Good turn, middle of the park, able to find Castro. Trying to pick out Tequila, but it's knocked forward. A lot of attempted balls forward by Knoxville. Dangerous for Chrysler, has to get it right, and he does under the pressure of 2 Omaha players. Tequila plays it off to Johnson, gets it to Castro. Uses his body well, earns the free kick.
I'm very impressed with how clever the movement of Castro Jr. has been, whether it's running the channels, but also being part of the build-out. Too many times PC and Dolabella, the two center midfielder for Union Omaha, they're getting caught out far too easily. Good effort here. And it is a foul on Mastro Antonio as a result of it, but that's your center back. Look how high he is. He's about 40 yards away from goal. That's not what you want if you're Dominic Casciato. That needs to be PC or Dolabella. They need to be a little bit more disciplined at staying home.
Slid across, Richie. He's got a chance to stand one up. Headed across goal. There was a few able to attack it. That was too much manhandling, and it's a free kick. So for you, Ricky, when you have that back three, you don't want one of your center backs kind of stepping up into the midfield, even though you have that extra center back?
No, you want to stay compact, right? Those three, Malone, Master Antonio, and Jerome, they need to stay compact. They don't want to get spread apart. The widest you want them is probably the 18-yard box, and then it's all about PC and Dolabella to drop back and provide that little bit of security in front of them. But one, Knoxville is asking a lot of questions, just challenging them with that three-man midfield, and then you have Nshuti and Tequila dropping down. It's been a really good start for the home side here.
Good work by Haugley to carry it forward. Castro lines one up, and Nuhu parries it away. That one's going to stay in play. Haugley recognizing that, and actually he'll touch it last. Very good work defensively by Jerome. Earns his side to throw in, but again, Nuhu called into action, and the captain steps up.
Just so much space for the home side to operate in. Give credit to Haugley, steps up, and then Castro about 20, 25 yards out. Very difficult save for Nuhu, but he makes no nonsense about it. Parries it away from traffic.
The 2022 USL League One goalkeeper of the year. Was great in 23 as well, and continuing to just be a leader at the back as Gomez can slide that across. Milanese carrying it in field, trying to return it to Gomez, who was stretching play to the left. The 1-2 executed very well. Flicked on again, and it's 3-on-2 if they can keep the pace up for one Knoxville. Tequila finds Johnson. He's got Castro. Richie's making the overlap. There's three in the box for him to aim for. Ball just too heavy. And in the end, it'll fall to Dolabella, but his touch heavy. Castro tackles it. Throw in now for Omaha, but again, stretching the lines Knoxville are and getting some opportunities on the break.
And if you're Omaha, you can't leave yourself that exposed going back the other way. Yes, you want to play attacking-minded football, but you overcommit. About 6 players in a white jersey getting caught ahead of the ball. And if you are one Knoxville, how quickly can you challenge the shape in transition moments? You want Tequila, Castro, and Nshuti just to express himself a little bit more and beat their individual markers. The last 10 to 15 minutes has been all one-way traffic for the home side here.
Good ball between the lines. Akoff checking his run as the ball was played. He appreciates the ball, but mistiming of the run results in a goal kick. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Casciato tossing the ball back to Akoff after the press resulted in the throw. Dos Santos combines well with Gallardo. You could see the thought in his mind trying to hit that one, but that's a hard shot to try and pull off.
Yeah, you need to hit it exactly right, with the right angle, the outside of the right boot to get that dipping kind of action on the ball. Those are players that if you are Dominic Casciato, Dos Santos, and Gallardo need to get on the ball a little bit more. They have a very good relationship, the target man and the player underneath him.
Dos Santos putting the press on. 2 assists in that first match against Fuego, actually matching his assist total from all of 2023 in the league. Had 13 goals, just 2 assists. He's already matched that after combining with both Blake Malone as well as Aaron Gomez in that win over Central Valley Fuego. PC. Pass bobbles a little bit, but calmly dealt with. Master Antonio to Jerome. Turns into a great switch of play as well. Now Omaha attacking from the far side. PC. Good use of the body, but actually a foul will be called, and the card is out. Pedro Dolabella thought it was Strong turn, but in the end turns into the first card shown by Nick Rodfate.
Just watch the left arm of Dolabella once again, or the right one, excuse me. He catches Skelton on the follow through. Right there. You need to run that fine line of having your arms for protection, but when you get it extended, especially around the head to neck area, you're always going to get in trouble. So now, 35 minutes in for Dolabella, big test for his discipline and his positioning for the remainder of this game.
Especially with how stretched we've already seen them so far. If more of those moments continue, he has to make split-second decisions on a yellow card. Something to watch out for sure. Calmly dealt with by Gomez. PC trying to fire it forward. His press overzealous, commits the foul on Johnson. Expressing his frustrations at the foul call, but another one going against Omaha.
Let's take a look at it here. A little bit of contact, but once again, I do think it's a soft whistle from our center referee. There's an argument to be had if you are PC. He needs to be very careful, the experienced player. Don't want to walk a fine line and get yourself in a booking next to your partner, Dolabella. But if you are a player and you know the referee's calling a tight whistle,
yeah,
it's decision making, right? You don't want to lunge in when you don't need to. Just move your feet, let your player play negative. Your job is done. And now you afford one Knoxville just to whip this ball in a dangerous area as Vanderploom stands over it. Him and Johnson.
Richie as well at the left-hand side as Johnson makes his way forward. Stood up, was flicked down. They wanted an offside call. Don't know if it would have came. It's knocked up field. A screen set by Dos Santos, illegally done so. Just coming across Johnson as he was trying to keep the press going on. Steven Dos Santos, 34 years of age, extraordinarily experienced at this level, both in the USL League One, USL Championship. Foul swinging against Omaha right now, about 8-5, current count. Vanderploom to stand that one up. Flicked on. Master Antonio is down, feeling the effects of a challenge. The referee will stop play as it goes out for the throw and allow Master Antonio a moment to collect himself and get treatment if needed. While we have this break, Ricky, I'm interested, just first 37 minutes, almost end of the first half. Who's the happier of the two coaches right now based on how you've seen things play out so far?
I think it has to be Mark McGeever. Right on the ball a little bit more, especially in the latter part of this first half. Castro, I think, has been very active, and Shooty, Tequila, they've started to form a relationship, and you see why these guys have scored 5 goals within the first 3 games of this League One season. And for Union Omaha, Dominic Casciato, I think it starts in the middle of the park. PC and Dolabella need to get a hold of this game and dictate tempo and supply the front line a little bit more in terms of their service. We have not seen Dos Santos. We really haven't seen Gallardo or Gomez have any sort of impact. And defensively, once again, you just see the gaps between the lines.
Good challenge by Master Antonio when he was called into stepping up. It's passed off by PC. Dolabella pushed from behind, and that will be a foul. Called against Knoxville. Game developing a bit of a cagey element last 5-10 minutes as both teams continuing to grow into the match.
And once again, you just see PC will never shy away from a conversation with our center referee. It is a foul through the back of O'Hearn. Just catches Dolabella. Makes the most of it. And now if you are Union Omaha, set pieces are a brilliant way to claw yourself back into this game and just kickstart your attacking phase. Haven't really offered anything, haven't really tested Lewis. So if you're PC, you're trying to hit this ball right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark.
PC drops it in. Dos Santos trying to challenge for the header. Akoff the player in the area. Their first goal against Fuego came from a corner, put it in the box. Dos Santos nodded it down right into the feet of Blake Malone, who fired it home for the first goal of 2024. Scraped through. Now a chance potentially to put one into the box. It's underhit a bit from Dolabella. He'll have another chance on the right foot this time. That one, a bit more venom to it. And Schutte, no nonsense on the clearance. Just putting the ball forward to get his side set defensively. Long ball dropped in, slip, but back to the feet. Gomez, one-on-one with Chrysler. Almost a dangerous ball in. Dolabella will collect the loose one. Akoff, the return. Important foot put in by Haugley. That's a fantastic ball to pick out Akoff across the goal. That one got perilously close to the goal line, but Sean Lewis clean in the end, keeps out of the back of the net.
Good little pattern play for Union Omaha. Akoff, look how quickly he takes off, sees the space in beyond, and it's a good ball. You want to pull it out just a little bit away from Lewis. And that's when you're looking for the action from Gallardo or Gomez to have the secondary movement in and around that 18-yard box. Dos Santos being part of the build-up play, so who's going to run in behind it? Stretch one, Knoxville.
And Schutte gets a foot to it. Big challenge put in again by Master Antonio. Dos Santos is fouled from behind. Again, just the hold-up play he provides the target forward, drawing the contact. He's feeling the effects of that challenge, but he's down off the foul from looked to be Skelton.
Yeah, he's a handful, Dos Santos. A big body, but also very soft feet. Hopefully he's okay to keep on going. He's such an important piece of what Union Omaha likes to do in the attacking phase of the game. Already 2 assists on the season.
Mark McKeever watching on.
As a number 9, if you have the ability to hold up play, invite pressure, but also bring players into this game, it just gives you a luxury for a coaching staff. And then you have players underneath him or in beyond him stretching the opposition. That's when you bring in Gallardo and Gomez to fill in those gaps. A lot of talent, a lot of weapons on the front line for Union Omaha.
Dropped in, long ball forward. It's nodded down. Gomez. Gomez. Poked out of play.
Watch out.
That's a big challenge put in there after the play was over, and referee trying to play peacemaker, but that one may have set things off a little bit. A lot to manage here. So the card is out, it's yellow, and it has been out since the very first challenge was put in, and now we're going to have the very fun task of distributing it out to players. And Ricky, you've been watching the replay of what set this off. Kind of talk me through as we'll watch here and see if any of this will elevate to anything beyond the yellow, but Ricky, walk us through this.
Just watch the right shoulder of Gomez. Bit of frustration right through the backside over Hearn. That has to be a yellow. Right off, away from the ball. And then Castro comes in, players don't take it, likely to foul into the boards.
Both players thought it was their throw in. Castro felt that maybe the shoulder would guarantee it as throw in, but
I'd be very impressed and very surprised if Gomez does not see yellow here.
Gomez feels sure to get a yellow. Gallardo was also very involved in things. But again, no VAR in the USL League One, so it's down to what this refereeing crew on site has seen, and he's pointed out the elbow, and he is giving the yellow card, and he's also giving one to Joe Gallardo, who came in after the fact. It looks like the card is away, so it might end with Joe Gallardo, Aaron Gomez entering the referee's pocket.
Now you have 3 players for Union Omaha on a yellow card. Gallardo, Gomez, and Dolabella all like to play centrally in their position. So if you're Dominic Asciato, the message to those boys is keeping your emotions in check and staying disciplined in your positioning and your decision making and deciding what challenges you decide to go into.
Referee not blowing for a foul there. Challenge is flying in left and right. That one will end in a foul for Union Omaha. And another yellow card produced. This time it's going to be going to Jordan Skelton. That one feels like a let's cool this down now before it continues to escalate for Skelton. But the captain in the pocket now. Quite a few number of challenges put in the end results in the yellow card.
As he comes in, do think it's a left arm, maybe catches Dos Santos.
I mean, that one looks to be.
It's Chrysler there
Chrysler.
that catches the back of the head of Steven Dos Santos. A lot going on, a lot of individual duels.
We'll have 3 more minutes before the players can cool off. We'll confirm if it was Skelton or Chrysler who got the yellow card. But it does appear that it was Skelton who was booked. May have been a mistaken identity there. Now the free kick, whipped into the box, headed away. And Schutte will continue the clearance, Akoff. But again, 3 minutes of added time. There's a coming together off the ball, will result in a free kick as well. That one might not result in any further action beyond just the free kick, but PC on the ground after coming together with Kempis Tequila. This game really descending into a cagey affair in these last few moments. Just watch kind of center of your screen.
There's contact, but PC makes the most of it. Really clever from the Union Omaha midfielder. Already players have seen yellow. Why not force the hand of our center referee? It's a game within the game, the dark arts that PC knows. An experienced player in USL. More importantly, an opportunity for Union Omaha just to whip this ball in a dangerous area once again.
Going to stand that one up, aiming for Dos Santos. It's headed down and able to be played out by Tequila. Richie just put it upfield, and Schutte's in the area, but Jerome can put a foot through it, just knock it back upfield. Dos Santos actually a very good touch considering the situation. Johnson, one-on-one with Akoff is Richie. Haugley scoops one. Akoff comes across, takes over. I think both coaches might be pleased to go into the half 0-0. Don't let these moments of chaos boil over into a goal or any further action before we break for our first half. Dolabella, who is one of those players who's on a yellow card. Good strength shown. Akoff. His ball blocked. Throw in. As we tick over into the final moments of this first half, Ricky, any tweaks for either side tactically that you want to kind of see things shifted around as we get close to our second half?
It's going to be interesting we'll start with the home side for Mark McGeever. You've done very well getting yourself into that final third, but what do you do when you're in that final third? That's going to be, I do think, the message, right? How clinical can you be?
As they try and follow you up on that. Again, just slight pass off there by Johnson.
Just need to be a little bit more clean and more ruthless. We're putting more pressure on Nuhu, who's made 2 good saves. But a team that has had 5 goals within the first 3 games, you expect them to have a little bit more opportunities. And for Union Omaha, you need a little bit more of this, more possession. Play the game on your terms, defensively more compact. It's going to be a really interesting next 45 minutes, and the message for both of these head coaches, Dominic Asciato and Mark McGeever, have their work cut out for them.
Dos Santos. Ball goes out of play. That will be the final action of our first 45 minutes. It was cagey. It was combative. And in the end, a current stalemate after our first 45 minutes. No goals for either side. They've come into the day perfect on the league, trying to stay perfect after our match today. Chat here after 4 yellows distributed. We'll see what tweaks are made by the 2 head coaches. At the break currently, 1 Knoxville. Union Omaha still in search of the first goal of tonight's match. try and continue their perfect start to 2024. We'll be back in a moment to tell you about some more records on World Record Night. It's halftime. Welcome back to Regal Soccer Stadium. We're at the half. It's currently 1 Knoxville 0, Union Omaha 0 on World Record Night. Trying to break a world record they are. Most foam fingers waved at once at Regal Soccer Stadium. We can look at some other records that were broken on the pitch in the USL League One these last few seasons. Now in USL Championship, but last year for Northern Colorado Hailstorm, what a year it was for Trevor Ammon.
He can score every single type of goal in the book, whether it's his right foot, whether it's his left foot, whether it's his head, but his movement in around an 18-yard box, that's what sets him apart from USL League One and gave him the opportunity to pump in to the championship, and he's scoring goals for fun as well. For Sacramento Republic, Trevor Ammon, a complete number 9.
Complete number 9. The confidence he has had across 2023 has carried over a strong start to the championship. Flashing ourselves back now to 2022, Jonathan Bolaños setting the record for most assists in a year with 11. Now in the MLS Next Pro, but he was an absolute weapon up front in terms of creativity.
Decision making, right? That's when it comes to mind about Jonathan Bolaños. He can beat you 1v1, he can beat you through combination play, and so many times when players get themselves into the final third, they hit balls across the 18-yard box blindly. But you just see every time he gets it in around that 18-yard box, head up, Jonathan Bolaños. Fantastic player.
Well, we talked about Trevor Ammon's goal scoring, and you saw this man already in some of those clips. And Arthur Rogers, you're seeing the goal scoring record, but Rogers tying that with 11 assists last year, now in the championship as well. He had a fantastic 2023.
Can hit balls from a dead ball opportunity, but also can play in the back line, can play in the midfield. Arthur Rogers' technical ability, his vision to put a ball in a dangerous area, and there's a reason why, once again, like Trevor Ammon, that he's now in the USL Championship with Tulsa. Fantastic player all around, technical player, vision. Arthur Rogers was fantastic in League One.
They were a lethal combination in 2023, and our final record we're going to show you is saves in 2023. Austin Pack was a brick wall in goal, 116 saves across the season. A fantastic year from him.
And as a goalkeeper, you have two things, right? Security and decision making, and he was spot on last season, and a massive part of why Charlotte Independence went to the final. Between the sticks, confident goalkeeping and leadership, communication within him in his back line. Just watch these saves. Incredible for Austin Pack.
Incredible confidence he had in 2023. It's a record-setting day. The foam fingers most waved at once here at Regal Soccer Stadium, pointing their way into the sky. We'll see who can point the way to the 3 points in the second half between these two sides. When we come back, some more halftime content. Currently, Knoxville 0, Omaha 0. A good boy as well. The stadium, we'll come back after this.
most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, I said what I said. I don't care, I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. And rebounding every night, I won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Back again in Knoxville, Tennessee. A big day, world record night currently at the half. Still waiting for our first goal of the match. Chances of plenty for Knoxville and Omaha in that first 45. We got some more news and notes from across the league to give you context about where the league is currently. Texacoma FC ownership group, Matt Barnes, the Gronkowski family, joining ex-athletes investing in the USL, while in the Open Cup, 8 League One teams advancing to the third round, including Union Omaha, who will face off against El Paso Locomotive for the second straight year in the third round, while the men of March, Angelo Kelly Rosales winning Player of the Month for One Knox, and Mark McKeever winning Coach of the Month after a fantastic March all around for them. Here is your team of the week from week 5 across the USL League One. Ian Cameron of Tormenta, your head coach. A plethora of Tormenta players up and down the squad. A fantastic start to 2024 all across the league. Both of these teams still perfect. We can look at some upcoming schedule as well for these teams all across the league. Tonight, Charlotte facing off against Greenville. Greenville currently sitting top of the table with just 1 point ahead of Knoxville. We'll see what happens here and what happens there to see where things will head looking forward. Well, you'll see it coming up tomorrow. Fuego taking on Chattanooga. Forward Madison taking on Richmond before on Sunday. Lexington rounds us out with Spokane, the first ever meeting between those sides. Spokane trying to continue their strong start to 2024 as the first ever club side. 2 wins, 2 defeats through their first 4 games. They'll take on a new look Lexington team trying to get themselves back on track with just 1 win through their first 5 games. Well, it's been a fantastic game so far. We've got one last break in us before we show you those first half highlights and stats. The two sides trying to figure out who can stay perfect, if either of them will, or if it'll be a mutual stalemate here in Knoxville. At the break, Knoxville 0, Omaha 0. Back in a moment. Back here at Regal Soccer Stadium, it's World Record Night. Sweeper trying to set the record for cutest dog with that walk and treat volume. Very good chance for the goodest boy. Well, one Knoxville got in the spirit. Their players saying what records they would like to break. We'll toss to that now.
Honestly, if I practiced, I really think I could hold a handstand for longer than anyone else.
For sure, eating the most pancakes.
Ooh, Joey Chestnut to go on the hot dogs.
That's bold, bro.
It's bold, but it's the closest I could get, I think.
I love pancakes.
The most cups of tea drank in one day.
How many can you drink in a day?
A lot.
Pancakes with banana.
Probably like best FIFA player in the world.
Nah, stop.
Yeah.
Are you actually good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Nutella.
I think I would want to be the fastest person alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
French market is decent actually in downtown Knoxville. Quick sponsor. You should sponsor me, but
I think the one that Messi broke. You know that one when he shot the ball over this big, like I think it was like 40 meters high. He shot the ball over it and took it one touch. It was a world record.
That was a world record?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, being loud.
The loudest person in the world.
I am so loud.
The loudest person in the world.
Yeah, I'm so loud. Vamos!
Great stuff from the Knoxville players there. We can check out our first half highlights before we get ourselves back into this one. It's been a cagey one so far. An opportunity here in the 17th minute. Getting that one to the left foot. Tequila. Good save by Nuhu.
The game really started to change when you start to see Johnson and Van der Pluim really dictate tempo and advance himself into that final third. Good save from Nuhu. He's been really good when asked upon.
22nd minute now. Again, just a good chance between the lines. Castro dropping that one. A good forward run being made again by Tequila. You're wondering, will he take another go on the left foot? He'll roll it off for Johnson, and his shot just wide of frame.
And it's a movement from Castro, right? Whether it's being part of the build-out, just overloading the center channels and really playing in that gray area. That allows Johnson to advance once again. And once again, it's a really good save from Nuhu. And Howgry, I thought he was the best player from one Knoxville, stepping into that final third, into that midfielder, but also very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Not an easy save for Nuhu as it hits the ground right before it approaches him, but he parries it away. Once again, textbook goalkeeping from the reigning goalkeeper of the year.
Your first half highlights done, halftime stats. 3 shots apiece for both sides. Possession swinging slightly in favor of Union Omaha, but again, those 3 shots for Knoxville, while threatening all from distance, probably want to get themselves closer to the 18.
Yeah, all of those shots were about 25 yards out, and you have to have something spectacular to beat a keeper like Nuhu. But for Union Omaha, 58% possession, but most of the possession has been in your defensive half in that midfield third. How do you get Dos Santos, Gallardo, and Gomez more involved? Big 45 coming up for both of these sides.
You see Sean Lewis. He was called into action with 1 save, had a few actions as well. It's going to be interesting to see how the chippiness from that first half, if it bleeds over, if at all, or if both teams have kind of subdued themselves back to focus. Just there were some bookings, so just to kind of recap them all for you. Joe Gallardo, Pedro Dolabella, and Aaron Gomez all booked for Omaha, while Jordan Skelton booked for Knoxville, which we think might have been a misread by the referee, but a lot happening, chaotic. In the end, may have been just slightly the wrong choice there, but Skelton, one of the center backs, would have been booked regardless for Knoxville. It turned out to be Skelton, the captain, who has the yellow card.
It's either that or he just got in trouble for jawing.
Sure, that's also very possible.
The communication between the center backs.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. The listed reason is dissent, actually, so it may not have been a foul, may have jumped the gun on the mislabeling, so yellow for Skelton regardless.
So now if you are Dominic Asciato and Mark McGeever, you talked about how physical this game has been, but you have to let your football do the talking, right? That's move the ball from left to right, dictate tempo. Once again, big 45 minutes coming up.
And Shooty gets us back underway, launched forward by Chrysler, and they're heading from left to right. The hosts in blue are Omaha, in their whites heading from right to left. Jack Edwards, Ricky Lopez-Espin, delighted to be here with you. CBS Sports Galazo Network. Big for the growth of the league. Both coaches just talking about the opportunities that exist for players now, just the growth. Dominic Asciato, we haven't talked about it yet, but second consecutive year that they've been drawn against El Paso in the Open Cup, where he was an assistant before he joined Omaha. His first reaction when hearing the draw this time round was not again, as he's against El Paso again. This one dropped in, almost finding Gomez. It's headed away. Then cleared out of play. But Casciato has been at all levels here in the USL, talking about the growth. And we're delighted to be here with you in this one on this Friday night. Dos Santos, it's played back. Starting elsewhere as well during halftime. Greenville and Charlotte will be facing off in Charlotte. Big challenge put in. It's blocked by O'Hearn, out for a corner. High five between the two of them, Gomez and O'Hearn, after a full-throated challenge. A chance now.
A tough challenge from O'Hearn. Clean. No problem whatsoever, but good early start for Union Omaha. Not even 2 minutes in, Gallardo standing over this just to cause chaos in front of Lewis within him and the Knoxville back line.
No subs to report made by Mark McKeever or Casciato. It's Joe Gallardo take the in-swinging corner for the back post. Lewis had to get something to it. He got the ball and also a lot of one of his teammates. There will be some treatment needed after a just massive collision in the box.
As a goalkeeper, you come off your line, teammate or not, you have to go through everything. How decisive can you be, as it's Tequila that gets the bad end of it? And once again, exactly what you need to do as a goalkeeper.
You got to go through everybody to get to that one, just to deal with it. And again, Kempis Tequila down with a bit of discomfort. It's an early stoppage after the halftime stoppage, so I'm interested, Ricky, just again, small tweaks for either side that we're still waiting to see if they've been implemented. But again, for you, what for both teams can they slightly tweak around in the second half?
We've already seen from Omaha 2 minutes in now, as Malone, Milanese on this near side, Akoff and Jerome on that far side. They're staying high and wide, putting a little bit more pressure on Union Omaha and just challenging the shape now, because that's something that we didn't see. Right, the outside backs getting involved. Akoff showed a little bit of it as that first half progressed, but not nearly as much as we would expect.
Kempis Tequila back to his feet. He's been a big challenge so far for Rashid Nuhu, who has stood tall in between the sticks. Here is Tequila. Just a good shot on frame, but a dominant goalkeeping display so far. Castro, again, that shot, a tough one to deal with, but just a good bit of parrying. The captain doing what he needs to so far, Ricky.
So important for a goalkeeper, yes, to be decisive, but also if you give out any spillage or rebound, it's away from traffic, right? And that's something that you saw throughout the first half from Nuhu. It's always away, it's always wide of the goal mouth. That's textbook goalkeeping. We've seen some really good goalkeeping from Lewis and Nuhu.
Lewis again aims long in Shooty. He's gonna flick that one on. Richie gets to it. He goes down under the challenge, but enough of the ball was gotten for our head referee. Just over the head of Dos Santos. Jerome trying to drop it into him. Slightly under hit. And we'll come back to Omaha now. Big challenge put in by Chrysler. Gomez left in the heap. That's also going to be a card produced. Castro dropping the shoulder to get past Milanese, and he's booked. Becomes the fourth Omaha player to enter the pocket.
Which is so spread apart. This Union Omaha side, that's your wing back inside of your center midfielder, which is PC. He's beat, really clever touch for Castro just to let this ball roll across his body. You know, Milanese on a yellow card. Him, Gallardo, Gomez, and Dolabella. 4 players for Dominic Casciato on a booking.
Chrysler. He'll roll it into O'Hearn. Almost dropping a pass into Castro, trying to slide to keep it in play. Results in a throw for Omaha. Knocked down by O'Hearn. You can see good reading by Dolabella to intercept the pass, and tight footwork by PC. Rolls back now, Jerome. Akoff's on his bike trying to make the run, and he's dropped into him. Fantastic ball in the end. Right wing back on left back, and Richie gets his foot in, wins that duel, concedes the throw in. That ball has been on a lot in this match, just trying to play it long. Akoff making that overlapping run from the right wing back role. Sometimes playing back four. He's a bit more reserved as the right back, as the right wing back, able to almost operate as a third forward at times with the runs he's been making. Akoff trying to keep it in play. It's taken off him. Good defensive work by Knoxville. It's played up. Malone gives up to PC. Back to Jerome. Master Antonio. Lanese has to be careful. Gomez, Dolabella, just under hit by Malone there. Johnson turns from the pressure. Nuhu. Flicked on. Was a push in the back committed there by Haugley. And that will be a free kick for Omaha. Just a few more stats from that first 45. As we see this foul again, just the push from behind by Haugley into Gallardo.
The disbelief on Joe Gallardo's face. It is a foul. 53 minutes in, he's been very quiet. The player that you ask that man, Dominic Asciato, you expect a lot from Gallardo in terms of his goals and his assist contributions throughout the season. A player that has everything in the book. 1v1 combination play, the final execution. He's going to be a big part of what Union Omaha is trying to do in this 2024 season.
9 goal contributions across 2023. Very versatile, both him and Dolabella, who himself has 10 goal contributions. Just fantastic pieces to work around. They lost a league record 5 players to the championship, Omaha did, and still able to put a squad together. Very competitive, very strong, but just wanted to mention the expected goals figures from that first 45. Ones that we have: 0.07 for Knoxville, 0.07 for Omaha. Not a great look for either team to write home about just yet. It's been played in between the 18s rather than in them on both instances. Here's Chrysler. Uses his strength to hold off Gomez, and he can play it back to Johnson. Up the touchline. Hold off by Richie. Good turn by Skelton. Johnson. Trying to just work their way around and through this press. It's Castro now. Johnson making the run. You can see the movement they were trying to make between those 3 players. It's cleared out. Comes to be a throw in.
Probably the best passage of play that we've seen from one Knoxville. Very patient, not forcing the ball.
Shot from distance, dragged wide. Vanderploom puts that one out of play. If you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157, the new Sirius XM app. Nuhu long. Dos Santos brings it down. There's some numbers forward. You saw the back heel he was trying to pull off. It will come to Dolabella. Gomez whips one in. Dangerous, put just wide. Flag will go up. May have been offsides in the end by Gallardo, but our best sequence we've seen so far from Omaha, put just wide.
Free-flowing, attacking style from Union Omaha. The numbers that they commit in the final third. First, it's off the shoulder of Dos Santos, but just watch the movement, the willingness to stretch the opposition as this ball recycles. Gallardo just gets caught a little bit overzealous, offside about a yard. A good line from one Knoxville, but you just see how clever and the quality from Gomez to whip the ball into the path, and he knows it. A player that you want to see a little bit more of as this game progresses is Gallardo. Him and Gomez, very similar in the spaces that they pick up underneath Steven Dos Santos. Exactly what I mentioned in the first half, Jack. If you play into Dos Santos, secondary movements become that much more important on both sides of the ball. So the back three, 4-1 Knoxville, as one steps onto the backside, the other one needs to provide the coverage, and the players in front of them. How do you negate the ball away from Dolabella, PC, and Gomez?
Gomez gets a toe in, gets it to Dolabella. He just plays that one forward. Was he brought down? Haugli trying to slide in. That's a fantastic challenge in the end because he kicks it off of Gallardo. He'll get a round of applause from his teammates and the fans here. Big time addition. Played his 2023 in Norway. The man from Oslo, Norway. Before that, playing with the Portland Timbers too, as well as Phoenix Rising on loan in 2022. So experience obviously in the United States. But coming back after a stint in Norway, and he's been a big contributor. A lot of shirt tugged by Nshuti, and it will result in the free kick. Nshuti draws the free kick after Blake Malone, a little overzealous with the hands. Kickoff. Dos Santos trying to hold play up. Milanese. It's a clever ball between the lines. Flag stays down. Dolabella in the 18 rolls it off, asking just too much of his left wing back. Milanese couldn't quite stretch, but it will come to Gallardo. He's going to try and serve one into the box over everybody into the hands of Sean Lewis.
Last-ditch defending effort from Richie. He needs to make that challenge because Milanese makes a run from outside in, unmarked, untracked. Just see how clever Dolabella can be in the final third. Ability to bring players into this game with the technical ability. Once again, just look at the center of your screen. Massive hole between the lines for Union Omaha. So if you are one Knox, how do you get that weak-sided forward on the ball? So much real estate to operate in. It's exactly what I was mentioning in the first half. For Omaha, you need to be a little bit more compact as that front line goes. That back line needs to follow.
Vanderploom took exception to that foul. And it will result in a quick discussion with the referee. No subs for either team nearing that point when both teams might begin to think about that. Who they could bring off the bench. It's dropped in, out of play, goal kick. And that's for one Knoxville. We mentioned it in the first half, but no Angelo Kelly Rosales, the League One player of the month in March. Had a knock from the match back against Tormenta, still holding him out. Danny Fernandez, who's been a big improvement after being a first-year pro in 2023. Out with a knee injury. That one looking to be a bit of a more long-term one. Hopeful that 2 to 3 months is the estimation from McKeever, but again, with knee injuries, you never really can stamp a timetable on that. But one that will be longer rather than shorter. Big coming together. He got the ball, but the yellow card will be produced for Jerome. I think he's making that point saying he got the ball, but a lot of the man was gotten as well.
Just mentioned that you get the weak-sided forward involved. You challenge the shape. It's a nice little clever touch by Tequila around the corner.
How do you do that one, Ricky? Because he gets a bit of the ball, but also kind of sticks the arm out a bit, his body out a bit.
You ask any defender, it's the ball or the player. It's never both that goes by you. And Jerome made sure of that. So now he's the 5th player from the visitors on a yellow card. But it's just a result of not staying compact once again for Dominic Asciato's side. You don't want to force one of your 3 center backs to step out of their line. Once again, just look at number 9, Castro, in acres of space.
He's picked out. They'll slide it over to O'Hearn. Trying to pick out Johnson in the box, but Dolabella tracking back. Does well. His pass, though, bit errant. Intercepted. Johnson, corner of the box. It's knotted down for Richie. His volley is blocked. still on here. Tequila playing that one back, and Shooty dropping off. Haugley, well defended, his touch too heavy. That was the best sequence of the match, and you kind of saw it developing, Ricky, with Castro in a lot of space.
You draw this Omaha side to one side of the field, you'll go out the other way, and then it's a quick movement between lines. As it does look like Mark McGeever's dipping into his bench.
James Thomas, Gio Calixto, the two players coming on. You can also see Lagos Kunga preparing his entrance into the match. Kempis Tequila, a few shots in today's match. He'll be coming out. Ryan Jiba also preparing to come into the game. Making his first league appearance since coming in from Minnesota in 2023. Made 28 appearances back in 2022 for Omaha as well, so making his return. He'll be coming on now for one of the numerous players booked in Milanese. So Jiba probably playing that left wing back role, most likely for like change. Gallardo as well coming off.
Numbers 91 and 16. Gio Calixto and James Thomas leading the match. Numbers 10 and 40. Sean O'Hearn and Kempis Tequila.
You hear that from the PA, Sean O'Hearn joining Tequila in departing the match. So two subs for both sides. We'll shift things around. Two pairs of fresh legs for both teams to utilize. As you see, Kunga already in the area as it's flicked on. Akoff, Richie gets ahead to it.
And Kunga, a player that had a brace against Des Moines Menace. So you know he's going to be confident. That's a great ball.
Just intercepted. Good step forward to deal with it. That one behind. Jiba.
It's a different look for going forward for Union Omaha. Kunga gives you the ability just to be direct in his movement and stretch the opposition. So what does his relationship look like with Dos Santos, as Jiba will be a like for like for Milanese in this near side? So look for his work rate on both sides of the ball. And Calixto, he's going to pop onto that front line for one Knoxville. How quickly can he get in a rhythm? Because he's shown he has confidence from his manager. This game is asking for someone to produce that little bit of individual brilliance. Good ball.
Good one between the lines. Gomez just can't quite keep that in play. Match beginning to open up a little bit more and more for both teams.
Just see the clever movement from Gomez. The blind side, keeps himself onside. That's when he breaks. It's the right timing. Just a little bit heavy on the ball from Jiba. Sent him too deep into his attacking 18-yard box, unable to cut it back.
And Shooty down after a big challenge. Gets the call in his favor, though.
Once again, Jack, it's the same type of action from one Knoxville. It's a direct ball into that front line. It bypasses the whole entire midfield for Union Omaha. I don't see a foul there whatsoever. Master Antonio steps up, makes a play on the ball. And then Shooty, he goes down, makes the most of it. But there is an argument if you are Master Antonio.
Leash has been very tight. If we want to make a reference to Sweeper, the dog we referenced at halftime as well. Mascot here. No yellow given as it's dropped forward. Flicked on, and Shooty was in the area. Master Antonio, an important foot put in. Dos Santos will draw the foul after he was bumped into by Vander Plume. We actually accidentally coming together between the referee and Vander Plume. I think he was saying no more fouls, but I think it was inadvertently hit Vander Plume. It wasn't, you know, a smack and then no more fouls. It was just inadvertent in that sense. Less than half an hour to go. Both sides. It's been strong defensive efforts from both teams in terms of those last moments. Both teams, I think, will want to see one moment of quality in the final third to try and generate the moment that could win themselves this match. Put out a play. When we talked to Mark McKeever, he said it's a match where it could either swing, 0-0 or a shootout. And as you can see from the scoreboard, currently looking like it's going to be the former. Kunga plays it back. Lagos Kunga kept it in play at the touchline, but it will go out. Goal kick in the end. USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. You can go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. As that one's put out of play. Tapped back to Gomez. That's another foul. Thomas, his first contributions is coming off the bench. It's knocking down Aaron Gomez and a potentially dangerous free kick opportunity.
Just watch the body position from Gomez. Puts himself between him and the ball and the player. Any sort of contact to the backside, he's going down. He knows exactly what he's doing. Result of that, PC stands over it. Very dangerous set piece. As PC's with the in-swinger, looking for a lot of pace behind this ball.
Both of these teams very capable with set pieces, but we haven't seen it produced yet today. Can this be the moment that they swing things in their favor for the visitors?
And it's going to be Dos Santos as the intended target, and sometimes it's the secondary ball that hurts you.
Whipped in. Good towering header out. Both teams raising their hands up, and the referee will point his hand to the corner flag.
Been very impressed with the box defending from One Knoxville, not losing their individual marker. It's a good ball in from PC, even better defending position from every player in a black jersey.
Whipped in again, set piece, goes through everybody. It's headed away. Kunga can try and recycle. No one for Omaha able to attack that one. Now Dos Santos. Good hold up. And a result in a corner kick. And he'll put himself in the box. We mentioned it already. That second ball off of a corner that Dos Santos nodded down was the first goal in that match against Central Valley Fuego. Both him and Dolabella at 6'4+ frames. On the flip side, though, some massive center backs, especially for One Knoxville to try and do the defensive task. It will be PC, the player to take. Curled into the near post. It's headed up. A lot of jersey being pulled where it's almost torn off Dolabella. You can see something under it as well. Lewis catches it, and Dolabella just saying, look at my shirt. But Lewis can take no mind of that. He'll claim it.
Good goalkeeping once again from Lewis. Comes off his line, very secure. No spillage with the oncoming traffic. And like you said, Jack, Dolabella, a lot of contact. His jersey's halfway off of his body.
Good turn by Gomez. He's 1 for 1 in terms of goals in his League One appearances so far this year. And it's a goal kick after a fantastic challenge by Jalen Chrysler. Chrysler and Skelton coming back for year 2 as just a great, solid core to build from, especially Sean Lewis in between the sticks as well. A great group to build from.
And they've been very solid 70 minutes in their positioning, but also not losing any sort of individual battle or duel. Very stingy back line for Mark McGeever.
Dos Santos on the turn, venomous, and it's fantastic. Out of nothing, Steven Dos Santos, one of the best goals he may ever score, and they take the lead on the road.
The player that we highlighted in the open can bring players into this game with 2 assists on the season, but can also produce that little bit of individual brilliance. It's just no nonsense number 9. Ball out of his body, the technical ability, the execution, and the pace behind this. There's no chance for Lewis. Just watch the follow through. Clean contact, the shoulders over the ball, never gonna rise. Tucks it nicely away into that far corner. And Union Omaha have the lead here on the road.
Cuts to the figure of a composed figure, not one who just scored an absolute golazo. phenomenal from Steven Dos Santos, his first of the USL League One season in 2024. After 13 last year, they were hopefully can continue his tally. 2 assists in that first match, a man of the match effort. And that one, a spectacular moment. And Ricky, it felt like it was one of those days where we're just going to take a moment like that where somebody just says, all right, I'm going to have a crack. And that was a crack.
Exactly what you want. If you're Dominic Cacciaro, just someone to take that responsibility and be the difference and be clinical in the attacking 18-yard box. What a fantastic strike that is from Dos Santos.
Gio Calixto coming off the bench. His first contributions. James Thomas, another sub. Now, how does one Knoxville respond to that? That one just a utter blow. Game's real narrow as Castro is on it. No one making runs with him, so he plays it off to Thomas. Calixto. Jiba stepping up, and he'll poke it out of play. But it's this really tight, competitive match, and then that just blows the game wide open. Now Knoxville in search of an equalizer. Thomas back to Calixto. The subs combining. Another throw given.
Just need to have a little bit more movement if you are one Knoxville in the final third. Too many times you pick up your head and it's only Nshuti by himself in the attacking 18-yard box. Whether it is Calixto or Castro. Yes, you want to be part of the buildup, but ultimately,
Chrysler whips this one in. It's through everybody. Richie couldn't quite break off of Akoff to challenge for it, and it goes out now. Throw in for Omaha.
and ultimately, you're on the front line. You're being paid to score goals and be that difference. So get yourself in a dangerous area and get the service involved. 18 plus remaining here for the home side and Mark McGeever to find any sort of response.
Knoxville throw. Dos Santos, the goal scorer, challenging for it. Johnson able to poke it down. Now it's back to the back line. Haugley, Chrysler. The expected goals figure for Omaha did not budge. It was about maybe 0.1 before that shot, 0.14 right now. Just an absolute rocket out of a chance he generated for himself for Steven Dos Santos. That's what's separating things right now. Calixto in some space. Can he have some magic himself? Lines one up. Nuhu saves it. Akoff has to continue to clean up. Johnson slides in, and he'll force the throw in deep inside the opposition half. But Nuhu, yet again, called into action, and he answers.
It's a good strike from Calixto. No one puts pressure on it. Why not have a go? He hits it clean. I do think Nuhu just sees it a little bit late. With a lot of bodies in front of him, you just see there's no rotation on the ball whatsoever. That just tells you how clean Calixto hits it.
Nuhu almost shifts too much to his right because he expects that one to dip a little bit, but it almost just arrowed completely straight. But Calixto's first shot on target since off the bench.
He's been bright since coming on. A player that wants to get on the ball and make things happen. That's all you can ask for if you are Mark McGeever.
Blake Malone, the player who got the assist for Omaha on the long ball forward as it goes out for a throw. Not necessarily a big chance created by him, just hucking it upfield. But in the end, just a fantastic bit of skill. James Thomas, his second season now. Injuries challenged him back in 2023, limited him to just 16 appearances. Made one assist. He actually was all the way back on the USL League One team as well, or League Two team, I should say, rather. Making 10 appearances. Played for Des Moines Menace in 2019 to 2021. Played under Mark McGeever at Young Harris as well. There's a lot of experience with McGeever and Thomas, who's on now at the right back position for Knoxville. This one again nodded forward, nodded back to Lewis. Charlie Machel being prepared to come on for Castro. That's up to happen in a moment. They're hopeful that Machel can try and offer an impact. Good header coming across. Master Antonio has to be said, been quite strong coming up when he has to from that center back role. Not something you want to see, Ricky, that, in terms of your interpretation of it, but when he's had to, he's done very well.
A lot of responsibilities the way that Dominic Casciato is set up tactically in this match. Just shows you the trust that he has in his back three. The ability to read the game and step up into that middle third when need upon.
Johnson picks out Calixtro between the lines. Moves it to the right-hand side. Thomas. His ball, it's blocked by Jiba. Actually, the clearance, he wanted to try and put it further up the field for a throw in, and inexplicably out for a corner kick now. Won't have Machel in for that corner just yet. A route back into the game, try and claw themselves back in. It'll be Richie. Johnson is short. Richie. It's nodded back up into the mix. And actually going to be a foul for a Gio Calixtro foul in the box, and the yellow may be a combination of the foul and also maybe frustration afterwards.
We talked about how important second balls can be. Master Antonio does very well, and Calixtro comes in late and catches the head of the center back. Not what you want for your sub, who's been very bright coming on, but now Machel comes in for Castro. And now you have 2 out of the 3 players that are new for Mark McGeever on the home side.
Again, Master Antonio still on the ground. Just a massive collision of heads. As you see Castro coming off now for Machel. He's making his first league appearance. He started last time out in the Cup against Greenville. Still battling some fitness, not ready for a full 90. And that was part of the reason, talking to Mark McKeever, he gave an interesting response about that Greenville game, saying it was the happiest he's ever been with a loss, because going into that match, they had just 11 outfield players who were 90-minute ready. So they knew they were going to have to bring on some players at the start of the game that would only make it till halftime, had to juggle things like that. So dealing with those factors, he was still very happy with the performance. Brought in Leo Santos, was the first start for Tequila as well. Still happy with the performance, and going up all the way to 120 minutes. So saying not 90-minute ready was really challenging the legs. Ended up falling 3-2. As we see again, just the collision that has Master Antonio slowly getting back to his feet, but you can see just the pretty nasty collision of heads between him and Calixtro. Obviously no ill intent from the Knoxville man, but doesn't stop Master Antonio from feeling the effects.
Hopefully he's okay to keep on going. That's a good sign for Dominic Casciato. Your center back walking off on his own will. And like you've said, Jack, he's been very impressive at reading the game, stepping in when he needs to. And also very comfortable on the ball. That's something that you can say with all back 3 from the Omaha players. Malone as well, Jerome. Very tidy in terms of the possession that the visitors like to play.
So after that stoppage, it was again a foul committed by Calixtro. He was booked for it. Both him and Skelton, the 2 players on the field, booked for Knoxville. Dolabella, Aaron Gomez in the pocket for Los Bujos. Nuhu goes long as we near the 80th minute. Just a great ball put forward by Jerome. Dos Santos. You could see, I was going to mention, it's just dropping again, similar, but I think you only allowed 1 of those every match. As Dos Santos again collects, turns, showing off the physical presence he provides. Dos Santos bouncing off Richie, but taken off of him. Good pass, finds the free man in Malone. Foul committed. Free kick now for Omaha, much to the frustrations of those here at home. Well, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, and you can download now. We got Blake Malone
Just see how comfortable he is on the ball. It's a follow through from Calixtro. That gets him in trouble. Already on the yellow card, needs to be very careful.
True.
For the sub, you don't want to pick up a silly second yellow as you're trying to claw yourself back into this game. Already you just see Dominic Casciato dipping into his bench a little bit more. They're trying to come in and make that impact felt as Rodriguez seems to be set to come in.
Misael Rodriguez will be coming on now. And Steven Dos Santos, producer of the wonder goal, the separator of today's match, gets a warm embrace from Casciato for good reason. Just unbelievable finish in the bottom left corner.
That's why you go out and sign a player of his quality to make the difference. When you play against a team like one Knoxville that's been so good defensively, the margins are going to be just so slim. Dos Santos, fantastic goal to get his first on the season.
Dos Santos, 34 years of age, the first goal. The 21-year-old Rodriguez on in his place. He's on loan from Chicago Fire. It's curled in, made 39 appearances across 2 seasons for the second side. Good footwork. Kunga to the byline, fires it across goal. Lewis collects. But Rodriguez on in his place, trying to just see things out. Probably more of a defensive effort than attacking is what they're hopeful for the number 99. Great pass to pick out Johnson between the lines. Calixtro to his right. He's got Thomas to his. That's a great run by Thomas. Can he get there to the byline? He just about can. He stands it up and knew who got something to it. Richie gets under it. Frustrated with himself. He couldn't keep that one down. But Thomas, he was just trying to keep it in play. It turned into a fantastic threat for Nuhu, who did well to keep that one away from his goal.
Decision-making from Calixtro just to let this play develop. The space is in beyond for Thomas to run onto it. It's a really good ball. The clip back onto the back post. But if you're Richie, it's a wrong decision. There's no need to try to pull a trigger from that acute of an angle. Hit it back across into a traffic area, giving your team an opportunity from front to back from one Knoxville. Probably the best passage of we've seen, breaking that initial pressure, the oncoming runs. But you want someone crashing that back post from the ball from Thomas.
Akoff gets to it first ahead of Richie. May have been a better move to just kind of lay that one off to maybe Machel, somebody in the box. Hard to make a split-second call like that.
Looking for a little bit of composure, just to pick up your head and find the dark shirt in around that 18-yard box.
Great work by Gomez. Chrysler comes across him with the hand, and that will be a foul against the center back, and a yellow card will be produced. That's the second one there. So that harkens back to the first half. We thought it was Jordan Skelton who was booked, but it actually may have, in fact, been Chrysler because he sent off. You could see he was frustrated from the beginning, so he clearly knew he was on the yellow card. Let's see it again, Ricky. This is a yellow for you.
I'll tell you what, we'll watch the right arm. If there is an extension, it is a yellow. If not, it's tough. I mean, there is contact. Don't make no mistake about it. But to see yellow once again, you see the frustration from the center back. It goes to bad to worse from one Knoxville. I will give our center referee, Nick Rodfatse, a little bit of credit because he's been very consistent in calling that, right? So if you are a player, you have to be aware of how tight of a whistle it is.
As frustrating as that probably is, well, clearly is from the frustration that Chrysler was showing, it felt unnecessary to kind of just throw your body into him. Whether the elbow was in it or not, you know, ball's gone, you're putting yourself into the man, and there's always the openness for that to be called, especially today, which has been consistent, you know?
It is a foul. I 100% I do agree that it is a foul, but if you're on a yellow card, if you are Chrysler, there's no need to go into that challenge, right? You need to have a little bit more awareness and decision-making.
Curled in, Lewis, he'll claim. So if they come back to try and get some points in this, as Machel chases it down, they're gonna have to do it down a man, one Knoxville will. Machel trying the switch. Rodriguez was in the way. And Schutte, Johnson, and Thomas trying to combine. Rodriguez trying to just show his speed and his fresh legs from the bench. Thomas gets there first. Lewis across. Under a lot of pressure, Lewis was calm. Turned over, PC. But again, there was that confusion that we had. It was given as a yellow card to us for Skelton after the foul by Chrysler. The reason was dissent, but in the end, it appeared that it was given to Chrysler. He knew he was on a yellow. There was no other moment that we've seen, at least. May come out that there was a known moment, but only yellows given. The ones that we've mentioned so far. Big step by Haugley. Comes onto it for the 10-man Knoxville.
Now, if you are one Knoxville, the ball needs to move very quickly. You do not have time and space to take extra touches and slow this game down. Put pressure on the back line for Union Omaha. Doesn't need to be pretty. Yes, you want to play possession-based football, but you need to be efficient now. The remainder of this game.
Richie turns it over as they take it back. Omaha do. I wanted to ask on the Omaha front, do you sit back against a 10-man team? Do you try and just keep the press up and say, defend against us down a man and still try and score? What's the thought process here with only 3 minutes to go?
Knowing Dominic Asciato and watching this Union Omaha side, they're going to go for the second.
Here's Jiba.
They smell blood in the water. They're going to keep asking questions, and it's interesting because when you go up a man, you like to think, oh, I have more time and space on the ball. I can take a little bit longer, but it's actually the opposite. Great move.
Rodriguez. You can see his alertness coming off the bench. Made his first start of the season in that first match, coming off the bench this time around. That one's dropped in, trying to find Machel. And again, injuries slightly limiting this Knoxville side, and of course now the red card impacting things as well. It's dropped into Calixtro. Gio Calixtro one-on-one with PC. Blocked out. We'll get the throw in. Down in the box. A bit of cramp.
Just watch the box. There's only one player in a Knoxville jersey asking questions in the attacking 18-yard box. You're down a goal. Yes, I understand you're down a man as well, but there needs to be more movement, more extra effort to get yourself in a dangerous area. And a bit confusing, maybe frustrating for Mark McGeever.
Blake Malone, the player, down. You can see just feeling the back of his right leg. Universal sign for maybe just a bit of discomfort, maybe cramp. You hope it swings in that direction rather than anything that needs for him to come off for. But Brandon Knapp is preparing to come in, as is Richie Ballard and DJ Benton. Those two subs will happen now. Callum Johnson, as well as Innocent and Schutte, will come off. Ballard, Benton on. 5 subs been thrown at it by Mark McKeever and 1 Knoxville.
Attack-minded subs for Mark McGeever. Benton and Richie Ballard just throwing a little bit more bodies in that final third, trying to call himself back into this game. Down a goal, down a man. Big test of character early on in this season for 1 Knoxville.
Thomas climbs highest, gets his head to it. PC puts a foot in, points to the ball because he got it, and it's a throw in. 30 seconds till we find out how much additional there will be for Knoxville to chase and Omaha to see out. Switch is on. Machel got a head to it. Akoff doing well to seal things off.
Entering the match, number 15, Brandon Knapp. Exiting the match, number 3, Blake Malone.
It's a big number, Ricky. 9 minutes additional time. A lot can happen in that.
The 4th official has indicated a minimum of 9 minutes of stoppage time. Brought to you by University.
It's a chance. Gomez, he'll fire just wide of frame. Can't seal the match with that one. Knoxville stay alive.
Fantastic first touch from Gomez, just to create a little bit of separation as he peels off the back shoulder I do think he takes it a little bit early. You have a little bit more space to take that second touch towards goal.
Mitchell to Kalik Strode. They're on the attack quickly from the goal kick. It's rolled just about there. Benton across goal. Thomas can't get across. An important slide intervention to clear it. Defensively well dealt with. But again, the chance just off there. Lewis, first time. It's actually a good ball in the end to just try and keep it measured and controlled. Vanderploem, his pass though, under hit. Dolabella can play it to Akoff. 5 in the attack, 6 if you include PC at the bottom of your screen. Akoff trying to get that to the corner flag. Richie picks it up. It's a throw for his side. Vanderploem. Kunga trying to seal the results. Gets a tangle up between him and Gomez. He picks the ball up, and it's actually not going to go in his favor, so it's going to be, he's on a yellow card as well. Picking that one up. He may have put himself in a spot of bother. So let's flash back now and take a look at what has led to the red card now for Jalen Chrysler. So this was the first half. You see Chrysler come in, fouls Dos Santos. Referee indicates yellow card to number 4, Jordan Skelton. This one, though, also on Chrysler, also a foul, called a yellow card, and that one, the second one given, he sent off. That the product of why they are down to 10 men Knoxville are right now, as that one is played upfield. I'm interested, it would be kind of, as we'll get back to this in a moment, Dolabella, a lot of numbers forward for Omaha to try and seal it. Gomez coming onto it, cuts it back at the back post, an important intervention. It's blocked out of play. Corner kick comes. Just a fantastic move by Omaha on the break.
And you see a lot of gaps starting to open up as Omaha has a man advantage, but Dolabella just plays it a little bit too early and too much weight on beyond it, but give credit to Gomez. As this back line for Knoxville, they're retreating. Where's the space? It's a cutback. About 12 yards out, no clean contact whatsoever. And if you're Rodriguez, just put your foot through it.
Yeah.
Get it on target, hit it confidently as you kind of second guess yourself, but give credit once again to Vanderploem. Last ditch defending effort to deny Omaha their second goal.
Corner kick now. Whipped into the box, headed away by Haugley. Kunga goes in the box, trying to dance through. Lewis picks it up really quick. I wanted to ask, going flashing back to the Gomez handball where he picks it up, rolling onto it. He's on a yellow card already. Do you ever see that as a yellow card given that could have gotten him sent off and been back to even 10v10?
I thought it would have been very harsh if he saw a double yellow there, but going back to Chrysler's second yellow, both of them are foul, but I would argue neither one of them is a yellow card. There's no extension whatsoever in any of them. If anything, you give him one yellow card for the secondary one, right?
Yeah.
But I do think if you are Mark McGeever, you're going to watch this film and be a bit frustrated and confused on how your center back sees yellow. Now you're down a man.
Knocked up fields. We're about halfway through the 9 added on. See if a good chance is still to come for Knoxville to try and share a point with Omaha. They've won all 3 of their league matches so far. Knoxville have. Omaha have played just 1 so far this year. They won it on the road, trying to get 2 wins to start the year on the road would be a fantastic start to 2024. It was a slower start in 2023. Dominic Casciato credited to just learning a little bit, just maybe a bit of a lighter preseason than it could have been. Went very competitive in the preseason ahead of this year to get his side ready, and currently on the verge of their 4th win in their 4 games they've played in all competitions so far in the new year. Left by Thomas. Benton. He's got 3 in the box to aim for. There's a 4th entering, and it's Richie. Heads it across frame. And Jiba can just put a foot through it. Vanderploem. He Picks out Benton. Curling it in. It's headed away, and challenging for that one results in a foul. Haugley whistled for that one. And a chance now to kill some more clock. Jerome on the ground.
It's better from what Knoxville. More bodies in the attacking 18-yard box, but as this ball gets whipped in by Benton, just watch the body position from Jerome. Goal side of his individual marker, first to react. Once again, good box defending from Omaha. It is a foul from Haugley. He comes in late.
Again, mentioned first time in the league this year for Dominic Casciato to be on hand for his side's performance when he was calling in from home after welcoming the child into the family. His side were able to get it done in Central Valley Fuego. Currently, the road trip to Knoxville looking poised to bring home the 3 points. It's flicked on by Rodriguez, knocked down by Gomez. The corner might be his best friend, and they'll be hacked down by Skelton.
And I'd argue, Jack, that that's more of a yellow card.
I'd agree with you there.
Skelton knows exactly what he's doing. The frustration from the center back. There's no intent to play the ball. Gets all of Gomez. Now that's not a yellow card. That's a bit confusing to me.
Nothing given.
And he knows it, and you see Gomez.
You could see he was quickly trying to just pacify things, saying, all right, let's try not to run my luck too much. Gomez also, you have to give him credit for how combative he's been on the yellow. He got it quite early in this match as he rolls it over. PC, they want the throw, and they will earn it. Rather, it's been switched around, Omaha throw. Good turn, Gomez. Between the legs. Challenge from behind was dangerous, but of course, got enough of the ball. Now Jiba trying to do his part in holding the ball up in this corner. Another foul from behind. More time to kill. That one will be a free kick. They know that they are very, very far away from their own goal. Omaha are. They'll be happy with this. You can see just the great footwork by Gomez to just dance through into the box and took a fantastic challenge from behind by Benton to just keep that from maybe being a crack towards goal.
Just watch number 6 come into your screen. Van der Plume knows exactly what he's trying to do.
Come in that hot.
Yeah, it's a foul.
Got to get it very right. We're back live. Jiba, again, turns out of the pressure. Turns into it again with Thomas, who can put his foot through it, curl it upfield. Good header to keep it in play. Omaha, this is textbook match management, game management to just keep this one in the attacking half. We'll see how much more beyond the minimum of 9 added on we have, but there haven't been many major stoppages to cause much more time as we tick past 9. Here's Gomez. Knocked out of play. That one just knocked away by PC. We'll see if there's enough time to launch one last attack forward. Lewis. All eyes on our center official as Ritchie switches play. Haugley maybe wanted to push in the back, would have been quite soft. Ballard in the area. It's cleared forward. Throw in given. Thomas stands it up. It's headed up. Calixtro, he thought his keeper was coming for it, Jerome. It's hooked away again, and that will do it. Omaha stay perfect on the year. 2 wins from 2. And their second match at Regal Soccer Stadium, they take the 3 points yet again. Dominic Casciato and company will head back to Omaha with the 3 points in hand.
Well, it wasn't their best performance, but nonetheless, you get the 3 points and send it back to the Midwest good performance from Union Omaha to take all 3 points.
The first defeat in the league this year for One Knoxville. It finishes Omaha 1, Knoxville 0. We'll show you how they did it with the highlights. After this, it was a cracker from Dos Santos.
The all-new Volkswagen ID4 SUV is truly something to behold. On the outside, clean aerodynamic lines. On the inside, plenty of room with a spacious, comfortable cabin. It will transform how you think about electric cars. Now available at Harper Volkswagen and at harpervolkswagen.com.
For the second time this year on the road, Omaha got it done. 1-0 over One Knoxville on the road, putting a damper on world record night for the hosts from Knoxville. Let's see how they did it with our full-time highlights after this one. It was a good first half, combative between the two teams. There were some chances, though, Ricky, for Knoxville, especially just from distance and getting themselves between the lines.
They had success getting themselves into the final third, but how clinical can they be once they're in the final third? I do think if you are Mark McGeever, that's something that you're going to look at in the training ground. Get more opportunities because all of these shots have been from about 20, 25 yards out. And in the end, a quality goalkeeper like Nuhu, no nonsense. He pushes it wide, not once, but twice.
Castro's shot from distance parried again by Rashid Nuhu, standing on his head at times. He was called into action to make 3 saves throughout the match. 45 minutes in here. We'll show you this foul. It's through the back, knocked down there. Jalen Chrysler going through the back of his opponent. That one given the first yellow card. There was some confusion who was actually booked, but it was Chrysler given the yellow card. And in the moment of the match, Ricky, in the 70th minute, this one's going to be, and it was knocked back forward. Just take a moment to appreciate this from Steven Dos Santos.
Just the body control, the athleticism, and the quality to pull this off. The audacity from about 30, 35 yards out. Makes no mistake about the finish. A technical ability to let this thing calm down. It's a follow-through. No chance for Lewis.
And here is the red card that would seal the match off more or less. Comes across him, Chrysler. Second yellow card given. He's sent off.
And you see the frustration from the center back. It goes bad to worse for One Knoxville, and that was a story for the home side. Not affording anything in the attacking third. You go down a man, but give credit to Union Omaha. Dominic Casciato, 3 points.
They stay perfect on the year in the league. 4 wins from 4. Their next match is in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open Cup against El Paso Locomotive. As for One Knoxville, their next match is in the League One Cup against Chattanooga on the road. It's been a pleasure bringing this one. For Ricky Lopez-Espin, I've been Jack Edwards saying so long from Knoxville. Final score, Omaha 1, Knoxville 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.